not obvious. It's kind of like this passive aggressiveness. Like deep down inside, it seems like Kim does not like Courtney. And
Oh, okay. Yeah, I remember this from
you
the
know what I
previous
mean? So
season. Yeah.
Courtney literally is living her best
Mhm.
life, having a baby in a
Yeah.
beautiful, loving, happy marriage, and is in this blended family. She got married. You used the Dolce opportunity to benefit yourself. This is Courtney's wedding. Like, she used Dolce and Gabbana for her wedding. Welcome to the We Bench podcast. My name is MJ.
And my name is PK.
And this is the podcast where we talk about all the shows and movies that we've watched and everything in between that we've binged actually. And how you doing today, PK?
Not too bad. I had a really nice day today. I actually went to Toronto with my sister. So
Nice.
she went to class for a bit, and I went to the Eden Center just to do some shopping for my friend's wedding. So I was trying to find a dress and
Right.
try to find heels.
Right.
So it was fun, honestly. Like I miss shopping. I haven't been shopping in it's been a while, honestly. Like when I
Yeah.
stepped into the mall, I was like, "Oh yeah, this is what shopping is." Like I totally forgot how to shop. Like it's weird because like I felt like I'm like living under a rock sometimes, so like I don't really go anywhere.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was cool to like go to Eden Center, which is I got lost like every time. I was like always trying to find a store. But Eden Center is huge and there's so much stores, so it was good. And then after we went to a taco place, and the tacos were really, really, really good. And then we just got some dessert, some croissants and ice cream afterwards. So it was fun.
Oh, that sounds really nice. Wow. I'm like, mine doesn't even compare to yours, but whatever. I didn't go to Toronto, but even though I literally go all the time,
You're there like every day,
um,
I swear.
I'm there. My sister's always like, "How the hell do you drive like that?" I was like, my legs and my body is literally just used to it. But yeah, I'm doing good. You know, I'm in school. Like, I'm doing much better mentally and physically, guys. So, um, yes. Sorry, my sister just texted me. Yeah, I'm doing really much better physically. Well, mentally, and yeah, I think my week has been really great. I've just been really busy with school and work and trying to grow my platforms, and I kind of have like a low key part time job. That's like 15 hours a week, while on top of my full time, on top of everything else that I do, on top of school that I like the night course. It's a lot, but I'm doing pretty well mentally, which is great. Like, which is better than I was a couple of weeks ago. But today I've just been out and just doing some errands because I am trying to kind of renovate parts of my house. So I'm trying to create a backsplash for the kitchen, and that takes a lot of time and money. And I went to Canadian Tire, and I found I went to Home Depot, and I found this really cute, nice brown backslash tile, and one tile is $10. It's pretty big though, but the thing is, you have to buy several of those to
Mm,
create your backsplash wall. So I went
right.
to the guy and I go, "So I have to buy like 10 or 20 of these?" He goes, "Yeah." I love that. Thank you so much. It's $10 per tile.
Wow.
So I don't know if I'll be able to do that this week, but it's something on my list of things to do for the house, on top of like being a landscaper and Bob the Builder, like whatever. These are things that I'm doing, but I'm doing really good. But going off of kind of the things we've kind of pinpointed for later of last week, which was a lot of girlies on the internet are being really forthcoming when it comes to their dating and relationships. So, for instance, a lot of girlies are saying, like, they're heading into their 30s, and they're like, "Hey, a full time, I haven't had like a full boyfriend for quite some time. I haven't had a boyfriend at all." But all the girlies have been dating, of course. But I'm in that same boat. I think the last time I've had a boyfriend was in high school. Um, and I was dating a bit in college, dating more than I was now, and outside of high school, after high school. So I don't know why there's such a stigma. I think it's because of guys. Guys make it such a stigma because guys are like, you've been single for how long?
Right.
So guys make it like a bad thing, and that's why you really don't talk about it. But I've been seeing a lot of girls saying, no, I haven't had a long-term relationship for a long time, and that's okay.
I feel like it is a bit of a stigma to it. I feel like that's almost considered a red flag, but I don't think it's a red flag, especially if like during that time there's obviously things that have like happened and there's growth during that time. So I don't really consider that as like a red flag, but I do see how some people can see it that way, I guess. Like,
Hmm.
oh, if you're not in a relationship for X many years, like why, like what's the problem kind of thing. Like they would kind of think of it like that way, but I feel like that's just the way of their, that's just like a mindset, right? Like I wouldn't think of it that way. I would actually think of it like, oh, like they probably have been busy with other things, and like what have they been doing during that time. And if it is like studying, or if it's like growing a business or doing something like that, so that does take a lot of time and effort, so it does make sense for them not to be in a relationship during those years.
Especially when you spend a lot of time in school, and I know a lot of people who spend a lot of time in school and make school their priority. Like they make school their boyfriend. That's all they think about. That's all they do. And PK is probably laughing because that's probably her. But that was me too. That was me. Like there was no guy that turned my head that I was like, oh my god, you're cute. I like you. You know.
Right. Like there was like no option there that would kind of make you consider, you know, changing your priorities almost. Not really changing them, but like being more flexible with them, you know?
Exactly. Yeah. But yeah, I guess we can go into our game of, unless is something else you want to talk about, PK. We can go into our game of Marry, Kill, Kiss, where we pick the three characters of the TV shows and or movies that we've watched this week, and we will decide if we are gonna kiss, marry, and kill them. Um, I don't know. You go first. Like, what are your characters?
Um, so I did watch Virgin River. So Virgin River
Hmm.
has two characters. There's Brady and then there's Jack. And
Hmm.
there's also Preacher. So there's three guys in there, but we can just like do one or two, and then you can do one or two from your show.
Hmm.
Um, so I think we'll start with Jack. So Jack from Virgin River. Um, so Jack is more of like, there's definitely some like green and red flags to Jack because Jack doesn't really prioritize a relationship that much. But when he does, he really puts in the time and effort. So I think he's always there for Mel, like the girl in the show. They do have their ups and downs. Like they have been broken up and getting back together throughout the seasons. So there's always like some type of Mel and Jack drama. But I think you just know that in deep down that Jack really cares for Mel. So I think that's like his character in the movie. And then there's Brady. Brady is more of like a troublemaker. He's not really trustworthy or loyal. Like he's been pretty rocky in the relationship. So he just started dating Jack's sister, and that relationship, it was going well, but then Brady started getting into like the drug business and started lying to her again, so he's back into that troublemaking behavior. So I think Brady's more of like a troublemaker kind of character.
Mm, mm. Okay. Okay, I know what Jack and Dan Brady looks like. Okay, they're both
Yeah,
very good looking guys.
yeah.
Okay, so I don't know which show to pick. I watched the new season of the Keeping Up with the Kardashians, the one that just dropped yesterday. And then
Oh,
I actually just watched the first episode of the American Horror Story. So I think I do want to talk about the Kardashians. Let's do the Kardashians.
okay.
even though American Horror Story is really good, I'm waiting for more episodes to drop and for me to make my opinion
Is this
because
the new Keeping Up with the Kardashians?
yes, it is.
The one on Hulu? Hulu?
The one on Hulu, the one that just dropped yesterday.
Oh, okay, okay. I haven't seen it. Okay, okay.
Yeah. So, are you okay with me talking about it?
Yeah, yeah. Go ahead.
Okay. So obviously, there's not a lot of guys on there, but we could talk
Hmm.
about. It's gonna be freaking hilarious. We could talk about. Do you know Jenner's her partner,
Husband?
the mother's partner? What's her name?
Yeah. What's his name again? I forget. Cole? No.
No, it is actually so funny. Um, Corey.
Corey. Yes,
So
yes, yes.
yeah, so Corey is a very nice, sweet guy
Yeah,
on the show. He is very committed to Kris Jenner. He loves her. He would do anything for
yeah.
her to the point where he was offered a role on Yellowstone, the TV show. And Chris told him, "Oh no, you can't be on there because you're going to be," because she thought that he might have a romantic interest. So she goes, "No, you can't be on that." So Cory Booker could have been a Yellowstone star by now, for all we know. But yeah, he's loyal, he's sweet. It looks like he's good in the bed because they always talk about sex together, like and like on and off on the show. And he appreciates humor, but I don't think like there's not much there to Corey. Like I don't think I can have like tough conversations about the world, maybe about life, but not about the world with him. And I don't he's kind of like he kind of seems boring. There's nothing spicy that will like keep me going with him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um okay, so those are our three characters. So we got Corey, Brady, and two what's the third guy?
Jack.
Jack. I think I'm gonna marry. What's the first guy you said?
Brady and Jack.
Brady and Jack. Okay. I'm going to marry Brady, kiss Corey, kill Jack.
Really? You would marry Brady?
Only because I've watched a bit of Virgin River, and
Yeah.
Virgin River is one of those TV shows where, and it showcased um, Brady, a guy who's really good with his hands, really loyal guy, really sweet. But when he loves a woman, he goes all in. And I love that about Brady. And
Hmm.
he's the one who owns the bar, right? He owns the restaurant or the bar in the town.
No, that's Jack.
Oh, am I mixing them apart?
I
Oh,
know, I'm like kind of confused.
yeah, same. Anyways, don't worry, guys. Like, I think in the future we're gonna have this more planned out, so there's no like awkward silences. But anyways, I'm gonna marry Jack, kill Brady, kiss Corey, because
Okay,
Jack
that
on
sounds
Virgin
better.
River, yeah, that okay, because Jack on Virgin River, he's a guy that he will have my back. He's
Yeah.
romantic. He's sweet. He's just like the perfect husband, in my opinion. And he's smart and he has his own business. He's ambitious. Like he's the guy that be waiting for you at home when you're out with your friends. He's like, babe, how's the night out? Do
Yeah.
you like it? I will kill Brady because he's not the type of guy I may physically and like. And then Corey again, I would kiss him, but like I wouldn't marry him. Like he's a sweet guy, you know.
Mhm. Yeah, I think I agree with you. I think I would marry Jack, kill Brady, and then kiss Corey. Just because Jack seems like he's always going to be there for you. He does get like those little arguments where he really has like a temper and he doesn't really know how to handle some arguments. So that's why they always like end up breaking up with each other and then getting back together, and that's because of the communication. So I feel like there's a little bit of a lack of communication for Jack. But
Yeah.
Brady is just like you just can't trust the man. Like he's like going back into the drug business and he's like saying one thing to Jack's sister and doing another thing. So he's just
Mm,
being really like dishonest, and I feel like
mm,
that's just not good. And then
Yeah.
Corey, I feel like he's like super boring. I don't know if I would be able to live life with him. I feel like he's a bit too serious sometimes, and I need somebody that
Mm,
can, like, have that like flirty and roasting kind of ratio, like a good ratio of both.
yeah.
I feel like it would be too boring without it.
Yeah, it's not spicy with Corey. Like it's
Yeah,
kind of
exactly.
dull, but maybe Chris Jenner likes that. Um,
Yeah, I don't know.
but
I don't know what really appeals her, like what's appealing about him.
I think he has businesses and he's a mature guy
Yeah.
and he knows what he likes and he likes her and she likes him. I mean, and he seems like a really loyal guy. Like even though they would break up, I'm sure they would both, back each other up. But I found it really
Yeah.
weird that on the show she didn't really allow him to really live his dream on being on Yellowstone. But when Courtney asked Kris Jenner the question, said, "Hey, if you were offered a role in Yellowstone, would you do it?" I was like, "Yeah, hell yeah." Like, then why would you stop your husband from doing that?
Yeah, that's kind of
Or your boyfriend?
yeah. I feel like that's not fair to Corey because I feel like Corey would stay loyal to her, but like that's just taking away an experience and a lifetime opportunity that um, nobody really gets. But
Yeah.
like I don't know, I feel like that's just not fair to Corey.
It's not fair. It's really weird too. So it makes me wonder what other opportunities that Kris Jenner has told Corey not to take because they're in a relationship together. Another thing on the show that was actually interesting was, of course, the first 10 minutes, in which everybody's talking about, which is the feud between Courtney and Kim. Look, let me just say this. Kim, I don't understand why y'all hate Courtney. It's not obvious. It's kind of like this passive aggressiveness. Like, deep, deep, deep down inside, it seems like Kim does not like Courtney. And
Oh, okay, yeah, I remember this from
you
the
know what I
previous
mean? So
season. Yeah.
Courtney literally is living her best
Mhm.
life, having a baby in a
Yeah.
beautiful, loving, happy marriage, and is in this blended family. She got married. You used the Dolce opportunity to benefit yourself. This is Courtney's wedding. Like she used Dolce and Gabbana for her wedding.
Right.
You are offered to do so many incredible things. You could have said no and said, "This is sacred. This is a sacred thing between me and my sister, between my sister and her wedding day. I'm not going to touch this relationship. I'm not going to create a whole directorial debut fashion show, whatever, a year later. It doesn't matter. I think that's what Courtney is saying. She
Yeah.
could have said no. Like you don't need the opportunity. This was her wedding, and in the show on the first episode, Courtney said all of her friends were telling her that you didn't like Kim didn't like her wedding dress. Kim didn't like the wedding. And Kim said, "Well, all of your friends are telling me that, they don't like you or, they always have problems with you." And there's a secret group chat that says not Courtney allowed that allows all of them to talk shit about Courtney. And Kim told that to Courtney. And Courtney said, "You witch, I fucking hate you." But it's just, I don't understand how Kim doesn't see this. It's not about, "Oh, but I'm your sister, I love you," but your actions do not show that. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like Kim looks like a mean girl in the first episode because you still don't understand that you took a relationship between Dolce and Gabbana and Courtney to your benefit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I remember that's where the season ended off, where Kim took the opportunity to work with Dolce and Gabbana doing that fashion show, and then she didn't even tell Courtney or something, and then Courtney found out, and then Kim was saying how she's not using Courtney's designs or something. She's like trying to make it completely different from Courtney, but I don't think that justifies it at all. I feel like Kim really didn't need that opportunity. She has a billion other opportunities that she can do. And Courtney has mentioned that it was her wedding. Like it was really special to her and it was her special time. And I feel like Kim didn't really care about Courtney's feelings.
It's so crazy. So and Kim basically said that, no, I don't see why you think you're feeling that way. Like on your wedding day, I
Yeah.
was super supportive, but apparently you were going around telling people that you didn't like her wedding dress, you didn't like the wedding. I'm like, who does like Kim?
Yeah.
I don't understand how nobody's, and they didn't really dive deep into it. The producers didn't ask the hard hitting questions, and they just like
Mhm.
move on to the Cabo vacation that the family went on. But I'm like, bro, it doesn't make, I don't get it.
Yeah, and I feel like they're always in like some competition with each other, like Kim and Courtney. Especially, they were saying like since a young age, they've been always just been competing with each other. So I'm guessing that's a little bit of a like from their childhood. Like she's kind of carrying that over
Yeah,
and kind of blaming, not really blaming it, but like putting that situation, like trying to use that as a reason for the situation, which is
yeah,
not like a valid reason because like you
yeah,
both are grown ups now and like that's just like a childhood thing that you had and it you should be both mature enough to move on and like support each other instead of like competing with each other.
yeah. And that's the thing too. I mean, and that's what Courtney said. And she's like, "Well, you're so egotistical, you're so selfish, and you just have this inner drive in you, which, when it comes to family, you should have kept things sacred. You should have just left it alone." And Kim goes, "No, I don't know. Like, it doesn't. They're not diving deep, deep, deep into the problem." And Courtney's really trying to do that. And Kim's like, "Oh, how can you think that way? You're just a mean person." I'm like, "No, like think about what she's saying, Kim. Think about what she's saying. Like you look like a mean girl here." So, yeah, it was good. Like people are saying that it was kind of boring. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, the Cabo trip was kind of boring. I'm interested to see how things play out. Another interesting point, another like interested part of the show was when Courtney said that she's not really with Tristan. She makes it an effort to always point out that she's not with Tristan.
Mm-hmm.
We get it. It's not about what you're saying, it's your actions. So right now, Tristan is living in your home because he's building his house. Why does Tristan have to live in your home? So that's like, so Tristan cannot live in a hotel, like rent an apartment while he's building his home. Like, why does he have to live in your home?
Yeah, I feel like that's like they don't have boundaries. Like she's not being consistent with her boundaries. Like they need to live separately and they need to have their own space and time to grow independently and figure out what they're going to be doing independently. Like they're not going to be living together. They're going to be
Yeah,
co-parenting, but they're going to do it independently. So
yeah,
I feel like that just like blurs the boundaries and I feel like that's I don't know if that's Tristan's. I think that's more of like Tristan's plan because like he wants to get back together, but I know Chloe is trying to like move away from him. But like I think it's Tristan who's trying to meddle with that and not give her the time and space that she needs.
yeah. And that's the thing. I think Tristan wants her to be his person, but at the same time, that can't be because, I mean, Chloe's traumatized. She's traumatized, but her actions are not really backing up what she's saying. But the episode was good. Like I like the Kardashians because it reminds me of where I want to go, reminds me of where I want to be, and it's great to escape and see all of that. Like the Cabo house was
Mm.
like from like dreams. They were like I it's only something that me as a regular person can dream of, and it's great to see it through their eyes, but it's just I totally want to own a vacation house and have the type of money. I mean, I'm
Yeah,
not jealous. They're kind of aspirational, I'm
yeah.
inspired by, you know what I mean?
Yeah, even when Jenner bought her new house in the previous season, like her new house was like incredible. Like it was crazy. Like insane. Like I would never imagine anything
Insane.
like that.
Oh my god. But anyways, Virgin River.
Yeah, so Virgin River was pretty interesting. So I've been interested since the beginning, and I feel like this season it kind of wrapped up a lot of storylines from the previous seasons. So a lot of like the storylines came to an end. We kind of see Jack and Mel finally building a life together. And I think in the holiday episodes that are going to come up in November and December, I believe that they're releasing, they're probably going to have their wedding, I think, and it might be like a winter theme. I don't know, but it's finally nice to see them back together and starting a life together. Because in the previous seasons, it was a lot of like arguments and it was a lot of like drama. But this season, I feel like it kind of wrapped up on that, and also the storyline with Charmaine. So Charmaine was Jack's ex, and she said that she was gonna have twins with Jack.
Oh,
So then,
before you continue, for those who do not know what Virgin River is, it's kind of like the heart of Dixie. But if you want to like summarize for us, PK, what Virgin River is.
what it is?
Hmm.
Yeah, sure. Let me research
Yeah,
that.
yeah. So Virgin. So while you're looking that up, so Virgin River is basically kind of like the heart of Dixie, where you kind of have characters in a town, and
Yeah,
nothing, not anything super dramatic ends up coming from it, but it's just kind of a heartwarming, good feel type of TV show, type of like a show where you kind of put it in the background, but you don't have to be super attentive and be watching every single minute of it.
yeah. It's definitely more of like a relaxing show, and it's about Mel, who's a nurse practitioner. She moves out from Los Angeles to this remote area, Virgin River, and then she tries to just build her life there. So she tries to forget about her past, about her ex husband who had died. So she is a widow, and she was trying to grieve the loss of his husband, and then also just start her new life in Virgin River. And that's where she meets Jack, and then that's where she works at the clinic with a doctor. So it's a lot of like you said, like a heartwarming, like relaxing show with a little bit of drama, but it's not that dramatic. I feel like, and it's just a nice like relaxing show. Not that much action, but it is. I think it is binge worthy still because it's nice to see these different storylines and how they come together at the end in season five. So I think
Hmm.
definitely season five was worth the watch just because of all these different storylines with Charmaine not knowing about the twins, and then the doctor who ends up getting this eye disorder, so he's not able to work anymore. Does he close his clinic? We kind of find out all of these answers to these questions in season five.
Yeah.
So I think that was really interesting.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Nice. How would you rate Virgin River so far?
So far, I would give it a 8 out of 10.
Mm. It's interesting too because I looked it up on Google, and Rotten Tomatoes is giving it like an 83% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, it's one of those seasons, it's one of those TV shows I would put on before I go to bed because
Yeah.
it's so relaxing. Like I can just fall to sleep with
Yeah.
it. It's
It's not like that, like action filled. It's more,
no,
it's very relaxing, but it's binge worthy because the storylines are a little bit different. So it's not
yeah,
too predictable, but you can kind of like it's not that much thinking involved. You kind of know where things are going to go, but you there is a little bit of twists and turns that keep you interested in the show.
exactly. So it's basically kind of like a Hallmark movie, but into a TV show.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I would probably rate the Kardashians a 6 right now. I mean, I like it, and
Mhm.
I respect the Kardashians. It doesn't mean I love all of them. I just
Yeah.
respect the hustle and their business and
Yeah.
their ability to still become relevant in today's day age. Um, if they dive deep into a lot of deeper issues in the show, then that would be really great. But they really don't, and they just keep it really surface level, which makes it boring. And I think that's why a lot of people are calling it boring because nobody wants to watch Kendall and Kylie make a guacamole for 10 minutes. Like literally, no one wants to watch you make a guacamole for 10 minutes. Like it's so
Oh my
boring. But
gosh.
yeah, it's yeah, and that's why I said I would give it like 5.86. You know what I mean? But I think that's it. Anything else you want to say, PK?
Yeah, that's it for me.
And that's it. And yes, I am filming in my car because I'm on the go. Whatever. Don't forget to rate, subscribe, like wherever you're listening today. Thank you so much for tuning in. We really want you guys to rate on Spotify, and y'all listening over there. And I need you guys to subscribe on YouTube. If this is your second time listening, it wouldn't hurt us to hit that red button. Thank you so much. I'll see you guys next week. Ciao.
Bye.
Bye.